What's up gamers, Aduma here. Today I have for you what I think is my favorite PvP build right now that I've been playing on stream this week. I thought I was going to be playtesting the Torc Bladesinger builds all week, decided to check out all the weapon spambles on the setup, and oh my goodness, is Bow Torc busted. You can do everything with this. Smash PGs, 1vx, 2vx, play in a group, 2-shot squishies from ranged, stand toe-to-toe with meta-built bruisers for a little bit, kite super well, and just honestly do really well in most forms of PvP. I didn't expect it to work this well at all. It probably needs a little adjustment for duels to sustain high damage without needing to recover with line of sight breaks. Other than that, it's pretty crazy and it's just a fun playstyle. I have some gameplay for you at the end, and I'm going to cover everything you need here to play it, but keep it quick. And I have the written guide up and available for you now over at the GAMEROOM.tv. Let's go. For this build, Imperial is probably ideal. I'm in Nord here, and it actually worked out kind of well with the extra resistances, ult gen plus basic stand build stats. So I think Nord is totally viable here as well. You can make it work with any stamina based race, but were I to choose one, it would probably be Imperial. We have 34 health and 30 stamina attribute split using the Serpent Mundus, Bear Haunch Food, and Tripods. You can probably get away with a different Mundus of your choice, but I dodge roll a ton and this worked for me. I have some bar options for you here in a moment as well, where the Atronach Mundus for mag sustain could be viable as well, depending on playstyle. And you can always do something like Warrior or Lover or whatever you prefer here. Just dodge roll a bit less. The centerpiece and engine of the entire build is the Mythic of Torc. If you were to ask me if you can make this work without Torc, probably, but I don't know. I'd have to do a ton of playtesting with sets and whatnot to find a comparable experience. Torc is just kind of crazy for PvP. I recommend farming it for sure if you haven't already. If this is new for you, the TLDR here is it disables all of your gear set bonuses, but juices you with insane stats of 15% damage mitigation, elite weapon and spell damage, and 500 recovery. Here's what those stats look like on this setup using a sharpened bow while buffed. The actual gear sets you wear around it doesn't matter at all, just the weights and chance and traits, since the sets bonuses are disabled. And I put that together like this. I ran this with 2 heavy reinforced on the chest and pants, and then 5 in-pen medium around it. I'm going to be playtesting with adding 2 well-fitted here as well, which I think is a valuable option if you dodge roll often, which you need to for some degree for your bow dodge roll major expeditions. I also used a sharpened bow, defending ice staff with stam escapist poisons on the front bar and mag escapist poisons on the back bar. The full trait and enchant list is here for you as well. I use this exact CP for all of my overworld gameplay. It works really well with this setup. And here are your abilities, which I'll break down quickly for you and give you a slight alternative as well. Starting with the back bar here, this is all standard stuff back here, nothing crazy, but I do want to go over extended ritual. When I very first started playing ESO PvP, I was taught it's very oftentimes better to use a global to shrug off dots than to try to heal through them. If you prefer having a mag and stam heal back here, you can drop this for Honor the Dead, but being able to freely cleanse dots, especially when playing outnumbered in solo, is really good, and it can easily outweigh trying to heal through them for who knows how long. I was reminding of this when putting this together, shout out Squishy, and it was the perfect fit for the setup. Having this back here also opens the door to a really silly ultimate that actually works super well when outnumbered. Templars don't have the best back bar ult options for a lot of setups. You can do something like build up Nova Morph, but that's double the cost of your Dawnbreaker, and I'm not trying to sit on ults that long, especially when not running a stun. I try to use it ASAP on cooldown when able. So that leaves the Sigic ult, which the minor protection and RNG block shield is nice, but the ult itself works maybe half the time in Cyrodiil. Plus, truthfully, I don't have the skill line fully leveled in this tune. So I was playing around with a few left field options, and half the time I actually double barred Dawnbreaker, which gives us more weapon damage on the back bar when kiting to help juice our heals. Just a small passive increase to them that ended up working pretty well. And then I ran around with this ult, and everything got so much better when being heavily pressured, and it synergizes with ritual perfectly back here. How you use this is the ultimate that you can move while casting. So as you're kiting and dip behind line of sight for a moment, you can start to channel this while still maintaining some forward momentum, get topped off quickly, then tap, block, cancel it, and keep it pushing. What most people do when a Templar is channeling this is load you up with dots. So the second this is done, you get CC'd with the row of dots and just get trucked down. But we have ritual back here. So you can block cast into ritual into an instant dodge roll. So you just topped off your health, cleansed your dots, and I-framed around the next corner. It's a crazy good outnumbered combo. Then if you pre-cast Healing Soul first from the front bar, all of this gets juiced by 12% more healing. Honestly, a stupid combo, and it's crazy cheap at exactly the cost of your Dawnbreaker, so you aren't sitting on ult to build this. It's the same flow of ult use in combat. A few other little things about it: if you have more than a few seconds and you know it, you can precast Ritual, Rune Focus, or both, and juice it all further by 8% from the Sacred Ground passive, plus getting their heals as well. Last, and one of my favorite aspects about this, is that this is a thirsty build for both mag and stam. And while you're channeling this walking around corners, you're getting tons of resources back because you aren't using them. So you come out typically with full health, little to no dots, and get a huge chunk of your resources back. It's a win-win-win situation when it works out. Smart use of this around corners is ideal. You don't want to just stand there chest to chest and cast this in a group's face. You'll still die. so kiting principles still apply. We get permanent major expedition with bow dodge rolls from the bow passives, and living dark slows enemies that hit you, so it's a great setup for kiting players as well. Having living dark up as you dip around corners to cast ulti here can be impactful for a last minute snare to hem up chasing players as well. Last note back here, always ensure rune focus is somewhere in the area on the ground for your major resolve buff, and always LSS your kill targets for major breach and burning. Front bar here, we get our major damage buffs of savagery and brutality from camo hunter and venom arrow. You can also use this to interrupt rezzing players from ranged, which is pretty convenient. Lethal arrow are spammable, which we'll come back to in a second. Then healing soul with the scripts of healing, sage's remedy, and vitality. You can also run honor the dead in its spot for a no scribing option. And then execute beam. Lethal applies a minor defile and the poison status effect, which is extremely gross for squishy players. Lots of players die in one snipe into beam, because not only is this just absurd damage, but they're also dealing with the burning from Elisus, poison from arrow, which has an execute scaling component, venom arrow dot, and then defile reducing their healing, and then they're just eating execute beams to the face, and there isn't much they can do about it typically. Even tanky proficient players don't expect the damage sometimes, and you can tell because everything's going fine for them and they just get randomly dropped. I've been totally surprised myself several times. I was not expecting to blow people up in the way this does, and you can do it for melee or ranged. You're equally as lethal in both scenarios, which is both nuts and fun. What I do a lot of times is I don't show my hand immediately. I just kind of lightly get some damage out there with Elisus and venom, maybe an arrow or two, but mostly out heal and dance around a bit, letting them be aggressive. And right as they're refreshing buffs and hots or have a stutter in their momentum, I instantly load up arrow into Dawnbreaker into beam, and I have legit dropped 30k plus HP metagear DKs in Cyrodiil and 2 to 3 globals who do not expect that out of the blue. Also, lots of times you don't even need to play those games. You can just fully hot yourself up and spam lethals, and forcing a ton of players to immediately need to turtle up. I did not expect this type of output at all. You'll see if you play it for yourself. A good amount of time once they're on their heels, it's over with, because all you have to do is just keep spamming beam, which is super obnoxious to deal with. If they get healed back up over 30 to 40% or so, I'll weave back in an arrow or two to get poison and defile back up, and then right back into beams. Other than super sweats who aren't dying 1v1 without major missteps, the only class I've really consistently struggled with are good mag sorks with the shield weaving. I can't tell if that's just a me thing or if they just counter the setup or if they're just that busted right now, but aggressive mag sorks who are obviously good at what they're doing are the only targets I typically avoid when possible. I've been able to draw out the fights where we both mutually gave up, but even in those situations, I was forced way more defensive than they were, and very rarely have been able to drop a good one. If I ever do get ahead, they just get the streak reset, and then that's that. The one glaring weakness in this setup is the lack of a non-ulti stun. I experimented working in Javelin, which you can do if you drop Camo Hunter and then use weapon crit potions, but you just end up gassed on mag when outnumbered. So one band-aid that you can do is double barring mag escapist poisons and then run the Atronach Mundus. Just be aware this is going to shave off the volume of dodge rolls that you can do a little bit, and they're extra important on the setup for the hasty retreat passive for major expedition in the bow skill line. And that's it, gamers. Too easy. I hope you enjoyed. If you tried out, I'll leave you with a bit of miscellaneous gameplay. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.
Yeah. We on a mission. You ready? Let's go. We on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. You all know the mission, that's destroy opposition. We on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. The mission is to win and destroying competition. We on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. You all know the mission, that's destroy opposition. We on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. The mission is to win and destroying competition. I'm the perfect prototype, tell them get the photo right. Have you ever seen an underdog with an overbite? We didn't get it overnight, it's overtime, soldier life. Put a plan together, now I'm flyer than Orville Wright. Daniel beating Cobra Kai, never caught me by surprise. Came from a golden era, James Bond, golden eye. We just take the mask off, showing up with no disguise. We don't ever socialize, it's winning mode and overdrive. We should be immortalized, we don't overreact. Win is the reason that I'm working till I relapse. Time you to rethink them statements and retract. It's win, lose, or draw, I'll be ready for a rematch. If you really remaps, you should know the road to success. It's always less travel, but we go through the steps. We the best of the best, may the rest get defeated. And we won't be done till the mission is completed. We on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. You all know the mission, that's destroy opposition. We on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. The mission is to win and destroying competition. We on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. You all know the mission, that's destroy opposition. We on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. The mission is to win and destroying competition. Soon as the record play, you all know the resume. We reservoir dogs that are broad when we regulate. Call if it resonates, talking I delegate. Anybody ever play me crooked, I'ma set them straight. Go ahead and set a date, this is where we separate the boys from the men. At the end we can celebrate the end of the road. All gas and we never break. We've been training hard for this moment, working every day. Higher than I ever been, top of Mount Everest. Some of you will never win, some of us will never quit. I am bona fide, flying like a kamikaze. Headed to my destination, can't nobody stop me. Chip off the old block, can anybody block me? Anytime we run out, I can see you ran out. Stand up, middle of the crowd and I stand out. Planned every move, watch the way that it pan out. Yeah, we on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. You all know the mission, that's destroy opposition. We on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. The mission is to win and destroying competition. We on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. You all know the mission, that's destroy opposition. We on the mission, yeah, we on the mission. The mission is to win and destroying competition.